everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today I want to present you a group which is kind of forgotten, but was tremendously successful during their active time. And also, and this is the best thing, you can get their whole catalog, in total 2 albums, for less than $30. Therefore, this week we are featuring The Independents. Why the Independents parted ways at the height of their career? Well, we'll discuss this after some needle drops.
And when the days are slow, feeling kind of low, call my name out low. Just call my name.
Oh, the way she walks beside me, the way her love guides me, I just couldn't stand.
It brightens up every day.
The Independents were founded in 1971 in Chicago, and they immediately signed with One Records. In 1972, they released their debut album, and here it is in all of its glory, The First Time We Met, The Independents. And you have here the hype sticker where it says, includes the hit single Leaving Me. Leaving Me is the song they are mostly remembered for. They had a million seller with that track, but even the other singles they released were all quite successful in their own right. Who do we have here on the cover? Well, on the cover we have here Maurice Jackson, Helen Curry, and Chuck Jackson. So there's another member of the group, Marvin Yancy, but he is not on the picture on the front, but he's been mentioned on the back as a co-writer. He sang on that record as well and was a tremendously inspiration and creative assistance. And you hear him vocally and musically on these selections. In 1973, after the success of this album, they released their second album. And this is it. This is the second album, and look at this cover art. I love the silver cover art. I think this is such an eye-catching cover art. Before I knew them, I fell in love with the cover art. But as you can see, now there is next to Marvin, another member. So we have once again Chuck, Helen. This is now Eric Thomas, who joined the group. Maurice Jackson, also once again in the back, is Marvin, helping out with production, writing, and all of this. The funny thing is, this album was called The First Time We Met, but there is actually no title of this kind on this album, but it's actually on this album. So let's get into this album as well. Also, what I want to point out, on this album you'll find a track, part 1 and part 2, for Just As Long As You Need Me. I love this. I love this track. This is one of my favorite soul songs. I immediately fell in love with this, Just As Long As You Need Me, part 1 and part 2. And even for this track alone, I would buy this album. It's a great album. But they also released this as a single, which was successful. And if you just want that one track, you can find it on a single as well. But let's get back to the second album. Here you find The First Time We Met, which should have been on this album. Also, It's All Over is a fantastic album. Lucky Fella, Sarah Lee. Once again, for a very decent price, you get a great sounding record with fantastic songs on it. You know what? Let's also hear some snippets for this one, right?
Long way. Any old way, because in my life there's only one girl for me, and I never betray her, so just let me be. Oh yeah. But this morning when I reached to hold you tight, baby, That's when I realized we're gone.
For less than $30 you get both albums, and I think you should you absolutely miss out if you at least not give them a chance. In 1974, the last singles from the independents were released on Warner Records, and these were Arise and Shine, Let This Be a Lesson to You, and The First Time We Met. After this, the group split up. You have to consider they were successful. They had chart entries, they had a million seller, so why breaking up? The reason was that Maurice Jackson decided to leave the group. He wanted to go into gospel music. So the rest of the group decided to not continue, and what happened was that Chuck Jackson and Marvin helped the likes of Natalie Wood in her early years. They also worked with Phyllis Hyman, so they were very successful as a songwriting and production duo. Marvin later on married Natalie Cole. Maurice decided by 1976, I might get back into music business again after doing my gospel thing, where he was also successful, and he founded the group Silk. And we've discussed Silk, I think 2 weeks ago, so I can only recommend that you check out this group as well. You easily find their second album, which I once again love to death, for a very reasonable price. Somebody paid at the Atomic Record Store, which I think is in Los Angeles, $5.99. So it's not an expensive record, and it sounds great. Also, Chuck later on released 2 solo albums, and these were called Passionate Breezes and Gonna Get Your Love. So yeah, after that, nothing is really known except that Marvin Yancy unfortunately passed away in 1985 the reason for this is a heart attack, which I think is, of course, when somebody dies, it's always tremendously shocking, but these people really created a tremendous amount of great music, and I can't praise them enough, and I think it's a kind of shame that this group is not getting the recognition they should have. So yeah, for cheap money you can get these 2 albums with great music on it, and yeah, go and try them. You find them on YouTube, you find them on Spotify, so yeah, let's give the independents a try. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and I'm wishing you a great week. Bye.